gonna take on the world.
All right, guys, we're back at it again. Episode 127. 127. Third Eye Truth Theorem Podcast. Back at it again. Live episode. I am your host, James Gill. This is the co-host, Joe Hill, of course. Does this every time. Right before we start. Pours his glass of water.
It's like part of the opening intro song. It's like the noise of just the slow trickle. I think that was the same bottle of wine you had last time.
Yes,
I
it
was
is.
on the show.
You know
What I
what?
get
You're
at
right.
the gas station. I love mobile gas station for pouring local wine. Thank you.
Supporting the local one.
What would we do without gas stations? I mean,
No gas.
not just for the gas. I get that we need the gas. I guess that'd be tough. Bigger picture.
Right, all right.
You know, what would we do without 44-ounce fountain pops?
Yeah,
and, you know,
and snacks.
giant
galore.
bags of
Oh,
nerd
my
clusters.
breakfast
Yeah.
sandwiches. My
Is
breakfast
that your
sandwiches.
thing to go to?
Well, yeah,
Oh.
absolutely. Like my checking account is full of like $4.22 charges at the downtown gas station. It's
Yes.
just like
Actually, my charge is every week is $12.52 for buying 2 Mountain Dews, a cheese stick, and a breakfast sandwich every morning.
every morning.
Every morning.
Yeah, yeah. You guys fucking judging me now?
Well, no, that sounds like the breakfast of champions.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
Two
every
Mountain
morning.
Dews.
that
Oh,
means
because
you're-
it's buy one get one for $4.50. So that's $4.50, $1.
That means you're a creature of habit by nature.
And they all know me, so they hold some aside just for me, though.
Make it special.
Yes, yes,
Joe,
they
have
do.
your cheese stick.
Yeah.
No, they have my breakfast sandwich, not the cheese stick. They have my breakfast sandwich.
Who gets it when you don't show up?
Yeah.
Nobody. They hang on to it.
Save it for
What about your
tomorrow.
days
We'll be
off?
here.
They hang on to it. They know my days off.
Well, that's sweet. Anyway, Paul Knapp, welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you.
This is-
Yes,
It's good to
Paul.
be back.
We got into the gas station rituals.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah.
Welcome to the show, buddy. How you been?
Oh man, great,
It's been
so
a-
good.
What we were saying this earlier. It's been about a year.
Yeah, it's
No,
been, I think it's been
no,
about a
no,
year,
no, not
maybe
yet,
November,
That's been
October, November.
No, it's actually I looked it up. It's been 9 months.
9 months. Okay,
That's
Yeah,
still a
it's been 9
significant
months.
amount
I
of
know
time.
it's been the amount of time.
that's
It's
great.
9
So
months.
so second time in 2025.
There you go.
Yes,
That
but
works.
in my eyes, it's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a second.
Because we do 2 shows a week. Because we were only doing 1 show a week when I was when I booked you.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, when we saw you at the game, I didn't even notice you.
because you
No,
had, because you had
I had-
it on.
you had
Because
the
you
hat
had
on.
it on.
No stress. No
I
stress.
had no.
I like to hide
I was-
whenever I can.
I'm
It's hard
walking
to.
along and say, "See you at the show." I was like,
Right. Who,
he's like,
who was
"That's Paul."
that?
He's like,
Funny-
That's Paul. That's Paul.
He said he looked at me. Who was that? Who'd you book?
And then he said, "That's Paul."
I
was
said,
like,
"That's
"Oh,
Paul."
okay."
That's funny. That's good. That's good. Glad to be here, guys.
I knew who
you.
you were.
Great to
That's
meet you.
okay. It's okay. The host doesn't need to know who I'm bringing on. It's okay.
That's always a surprise. For me.
It
It's
is, actually.
Cracker Jack box.
Yeah, that's.
I love it.
You know, that's what they called me in high school.
Cracker
So
Jack box.
yeah.
Or
Are
Cracker
you
Jack.
serious?
No, I'm kidding. No, they
I was
called.
like, damn, what kind of high school?
They
did you go
called
to
me
again?
Gigantor in high school.
Gigantor in high
Yeah,
school?
that
Really?
was my on my basketball, like our basketball hoodie sweatshirts.
Yeah.
We had our nicknames on the sleeves, and
Actually.
mine's Gigantor right here on my left
If I
sleeve.
think about it, I booked you about a month after, or it was a couple months after, because we were having conflicts with your schedule right after you got the job.
9 months ago, I've been in the job almost 20 months.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it
so I was like,
almost right
it was within
yeah.
my first year. for
Yeah, it was
sure,
your
yeah.
first year.
Yep.
So that
Yep.
I booked you in your first year. So
Yeah, it still feels new in a lot of
so
ways.
how does it feel to be in the job, in the role of city? What do you call yourself?
Well, I'm the executive director of St. Joe today.
I know.
So I don't
Commissioner?
work. So I'd like to
Commissioner?
from the get go. Let's have this disclaimer. I do not work for the city. I do not represent the city. I am not an elected official. I do not make decisions on behalf of the city. I love the city of St. Joseph. I have a lot of friends who work for the city. I can speak to a lot of matters that are going on. But St. Joe Today is a separate nonprofit organization. Our job, I like to explain St. Joe to this way. We're the cruise directors for the city, right?
Okay.
We want to make sure there's 12 months worth of programming so that residents and visitors alike can come and enjoy the community that they call home. That's what St. Joe Today's ultimate mission is to do. We've got a couple other functions of our programming, but at the end of the day, that's what we want to do. We want to have a lot of fun in the city of St. Joe.
There you go. See, now you got it, Joe.
Yeah, I already knew what it was. But I didn't.
Oh my God.
I didn't need to explain it.
That's
good. He's locking in his order at the gas station for tomorrow morning.
For his
You know,
breakfast sandwich.
yeah, like extra bacon.
Sausage, thank you. Sorry.
Make sure it's hot.
Sausage.
Bacon sucks.
I'll be there early. Oh man.
Yeah.
Geez.
But no, because people honestly don't know they have somebody that they does stuff for downtown St. Joe. They think it's city commissioners.
Yeah.
They think it's somebody that's in the city commissioner's ship. You are the man that creates the thing that actually like Antiques on the Bluff.
Yes, that is our.
You
event.
do that. You do the Halloween stuff. You
Yes.
do the farmers market, stuff like that. That's
Yes.
what city you do for the city.
Yeah, and
So-
and St. Joe's really, really unique and
Mannequins. That's the other word I was thinking of.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
March Mannequins. So
Yeah.
St. Joe's super unique. Excuse me. In that they have this organization, St. Joe Today, and I feel incredibly grateful because I stepped into an organization that is long-standing and is incredibly organized. And I don't do antiques. I don't do these events. My team does these events. I just the pretty face, right? No, actually, I've got a lot of pretty faces who work at St. Joe Today that make this happen, and they are incredibly talented, incredibly gifted. I just got super lucky 20 months ago when I stepped into this thing, and super grateful for the role that we get to play. And the joke that I have with my team all the time is, hey, let's remember that nobody's going to call us when the zombies come, right? Like what we do is incredibly important. But if we're not having fun doing it, then we shouldn't be doing it, right? Like if we're not having fun doing Antiques on the Bluff, then it's time to start doing something else, right? Because that means people aren't having fun and enjoying what that event is supposed to be. And that's true of all our events, whether it's Beer Fest or Ice Fest or Chili Tour, March Mannequins. We have lighthouse tours, farmers markets, art fairs, antiques. Like
you guys have your hands in all kinds of things.
We have 70 events a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a solid.
Wait,
amount
you
of
said
events.
70?
70 events
70
a year.
Are
Yeah.
you counting
Each
each
farmer's
week?
market? Yeah,
No,
yeah.
each-
Okay,
okay.
okay. Don't throw me under the bus here, Joe. But yeah, so but still, like
I was actually
He's
thinking
known to do
there's a week in
Yeah.
July. There's a
Known to
week in
do that.
July where we have 7 events going on at the same time.
Yeah.
So
actually.
and St. Joe's incredibly lucky because they have this long-standing foundational organization like St. Joe Today that's taking the pressure off the city so that our city commissioners and our city staff can do the things behind the scenes that matter to make sure that our waters are clean and that all this construction is going to end in a timely manner.
Right.
Because it's driving me bonkers, right? Like I love that it's happening. We need these updates to our city, but it's time to open up Niles.
So who do you
Exactly. I
who do
agree
you
with you.
support to?
Who do I report to?
Yeah.
I've got a board, and that's made up of local
The city-
business members.
So it's not the city commissioners?
No,
So you don't have to report to them at all what you do, what you want to do in the city?
I get to dream big ideas, and I get to take them to them and say, hey, what do you
So
think? Could we
still
do
have to-
this?
you still have to go to them.
Well,
So people know.
we have creative autonomy to dream big with our events, but St. Joe's our venue, right? And so who controls our venue? That's the city of St. Joseph, right? So whatever we do, they have to be like it has to
They have
be
to
within
back
the
it up.
legal boundaries that the city is bound to, and the city commissioners have to say, yes, we believe this is a good thing for the city as well. So just like any other organization, we have to go through the application process.
So you still have to go through all of everything.
Sure.
So if you have a great idea for something downtown, you still have to go to the city commissioners.
Correct.
And the city commissioners and the mayor and everybody else has to agree to it.
They have to say yes. Yeah. So, but
Damn,
because
that sucks.
we're so integrated in the downtown, in a lot of ways, we're the front lines because we host the welcome center for the city. That's one of our other functions. We're at the front lines for so many different kinds of people, not just tourists. We're not just a tourist destination. We have tons of locals who come in as well. We're very integrated into the fabric and the cogwheel of the city.
So I have a question already.
Okay, we've got live questions coming in.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Come on. This is what I live for.
So from Nardo's Pizza,
Oh, hey, what's up, Nardo?
talk about Halloween.
Halloween, yeah. So, well, I'll talk about the whole month of October because, so the month of October this year is incredibly special. The city is trying to make a big deal out of the month of October. I should look this way too. Hello, everyone out there. So this last weekend, you might have noticed an increased presence of buskers in downtown. So the city hosted an event called Play St. Joe. So that was not a St. Joe Today event. That was a city event. And it was a great idea that Emily and Kayla and Kelly had to bring in buskers and to put them on as many corners as possible.
So I have a question. I'm gonna stop you right there for a minute. So did they have to tell you what they're gonna do to your part of the town?
They do not have to tell me anything.
So they just do it and you just get the memo and say, this is what we're doing.
So I was invited to be a part of the planning process, and I did get to sit at that table and help them organize. It was not an event that we had the capacity to take on. And so, and this is why I say, like, I don't do the events. Danny Crevier, our operations and events director at St. Joe Today, she is the one. If you ever see her out, say thank you. She is truly the master behind all of our events and makes them happen. I do not want to take any of her credit or any of our team's credit for the work that they do. So I gave my time and I sat with the city and helped them to a certain extent say, how do we do this event well? But it was really Kayla and Emily and the city staff that put that event on. So they hosted that on October 4th. And then we've got on October 18th, we've got our Halloween Spooktacular, which is a brand new event to the city of St. Joseph. We're just going to fill downtown with Halloween fun. So we've got a hayride that's going to go through downtown. Nice. We've got a Halloween farmers and art market, like a collection of farmers and art vendors who are going to be in the grass lot across from Shoes and across from Nardo's there.
This is going to be during the day.
This is going to be during the day. It's going to be 11 to 4. We'll have a pumpkin patch. We'll have free pumpkins down there. So Chick-fil-A is sponsoring our pumpkin patch in downtown St. Joe. Yeah. So we'll have the pumpkins and we'll have a decorating station, as well as one of our ice carvers from the Ice Fest is going to come and do a professional pumpkin carving, and plus magic shows. And then we'll have a costume parade down State Street, and then that'll be at noon. So you can pre-register for that at stjoetoday.com.
You got to wear a costume, James.
Yes, in order to participate in the costume parade, you do have to wear a costume. I'm still trying to figure that out. So if anybody has any ideas of what I could be for Halloween, that would be really fun for this. I have no promises.
All 5 of you.
All 5, yeah. Give me your top 5 ideas right now. And then as well, like 6. We have we'll have the lighthouse open. We're going to decorate it in a spooky way. All of our volunteers will be in costumes. That's sponsored by the Freedom Boat Club. So all the climbs on the lighthouse on that Saturday will be for free. Usually it's $5. So thanks to Freedom Boat Club, that will be free. Nardo's is doing a haunted house, and so you can go to Nardo's. They're doing some giveaways and having a haunted house. So it's just going to be a day full of Halloween fun. AEP is sponsoring some decorations in downtown. Ellis Farms is sponsoring the hayride. Holt Bossy is sponsoring the costume parade. So it's a community event. It's a true collaboration to try to say, like, how do we celebrate this season? How do we celebrate this holiday and just fill downtown with fun? And hopefully it's a great day for business in downtown St. Joe.
So that day, it's more of a type of a small gathering festival. I call it gathering. Most people call it a festival. But so all that stuff that's going on is going on, and you're closing down the road, or the road's still open?
All the roads remain open except for a small period of time. We're going to have the costume parade. The roads will still be open. The hayride will manage the traffic. Really? That will only close State Street for about 30 to 40 minutes for the costume parade. So from 11:45 to 12:30 at the most.
Can anybody dress up for it?
Anybody can participate. Yeah.
Come on, James.
Yeah. Come on out.
Come on, James.
Get your
James.
Envision and embody
in the morning.
Embody what it looks like
It's early
What
in the
does
morning.
the third eye theorem? What is that embodied?
Oh,
that would be
you
a
dress up like
great-
that. I'll dress.
Wow.
That'd be a
whatever.
great addition
I'll
to the
dress up
costume
like
parade.
Elsa.
what are you gonna dress up?
Elsa.
No, please don't.
Please don't. Do that. Don't do that.
You might be asked to be at the back of the parade.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, at the back of the parade, our police officers will be coming to open the road.
I know they
so
do.
we'll have Joe
I
in the back
know.
by then.
I know.
Damn. Take this guy away, please.
Just dress like a woman and say masquerade.
Is that what you were saying?
It's okay.
Let
I
it
have
go.
silly string.
Let
I have
it
silly
go.
string coming. Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Actually, I did that costume. That's why I have it.
So that's not over. So that's October 18th. Super fun. Come on out. A lot of our social district partners are going to have special to go beverages for you to grab and then come and enjoy the event. So come on out to downtown St. Joe on October 18th for that. In the evening on the 18th, the city is going to piggyback on the Spooktacular and host a spooky movie night in that same venue.
Really?
So in that same grass field, they're going to transform that into an outdoor movie.
Really?
There will be seating spaces on the grass lot as well as some drive-in options as well if you want to stay in your car.
Yeah.
So this will be similar like their setup that they do
Where's
in
it
the
at?
park or at the St. Joe High School like the Rotary does. That'll be in the same grass lot across from Shoes. So they're going to show Young Frankenstein starting at 7:30.
Yeah.
That's on
I
October
was trying to figure
18th.
what parking lot you're going to be using it.
Yeah, so it's that
makes sense.
big open
Yeah.
grass lot that might not be there in a year.
I was just going to mention that. But
So
okay.
let's get to that in a second, though. But yeah, so we're gonna have we hope this is the last year that will be available for us to use, but we're gonna make the most of it in one final year of that being empty and grassy and available.
So with that,
Yep. There's more to talk about October, but yeah, let's talk about that.
I'm going to October.
Yeah.
So is that still the same day as the merchant, or is that a different?
No,
day?
so let's get to so that's all October 18th. So that's
all 18th.
That's
so you're
not-
doing the movie thing on the 18th.
So that's the city. Yes, the city is
Wow.
doing the spooky movie night. They're showing Young
That's a lot of
Frankenstein
shit.
7:30 on October 18th. On the 25th, so the following Saturday,
That'll
we
be the what? Actually, that's a first, isn't it?
so October 25th at 4:00 they have truck or treat. So this is a classic City of St. Joseph event. So this is not a St. Joe Today event, but this is a city event. They have historically held this at the Ice Arena in St. Joseph. So at the Howard Ice Arena, you may have remembered they bring out all the city vehicles and they kind of do a trunk or treat, but they bring out all the city trucks. So they are moving that into the downtown this year on October 25th. So at 4:00, you'll have the county police departments, all the public works vehicles, the city police, the fire trucks. There's rumors of the Coast Guard bringing some of what they have out there, and I wouldn't miss that. So that will be around 4:00. The Coast Guard will arrive, and it'll be a cool arrival if you get down there earlier. They can't bring their boats on the land, but what can they land on
Wait a
land?
minute. Where they at? So people know between each
Yeah,
road,
so
each
all these
road?
trucks are going to be parked on Lake Boulevard.
Between which road?
On Lake Boulevard and Broad Street.
Oh,
So
between
imagine it's just
Broad-
right in the heart of downtown.
yeah.
So
Broad and
Broad, Pleasant, Elm,
okay.
Lake
Okay.
Boulevard, right there, kind of like
Yeah,
where the
well,
farmers market will
yeah,
be.
okay.
Think of that as
so
as
people
the venue
know
for-
which
Yep.
which blocks.
Yep. So come in your costumes. So this is another opportunity to come downtown in your costume, get candy, and then jump in some stores, do some shopping, grab a social district drink, grab a hot chocolate, grab some ice
Yeah.
cream.
Oh,
So
it
that's
hasn't been really hot lately. You can't really. It's been hot.
it's been
lately.
so hot lately. Yeah, but so we've got some fall weather coming though tonight. We'll see.
I love
It's supposed to
fall
rain
weather.
tonight.
I'd love a couple more. Give me
It's
like
supposed to
one
rain
more
it.
75
It's
degree
supposed to
day.
rain tonight.
Yeah,
It's not
At
supposed to be
least 2
hot.
more weeks of the nice 75.
yeah.
It's
Let's
gonna
not
get
wish it
back-
away.
It's
Yeah.
gonna get back up to at least 65.
I'll take it.
55. It's not gonna drop so barely.
So that truck or
Yeah.
treat event on the 25th is different than St. Joe Today's. And I know this is confusing, but I do feel like it's important to make this distinction because I want to give credit where credit is due, because the city is working their tail off to try to do what we do, which is to inspire people to come into downtown to enjoy their city. And we hope that might include walking into downtown businesses as well. But so that's October 25th. on October 31st, on Halloween, St. Joe Today will kick off the trick-or-treating at 4:30. So from 4:30 to 6, our downtown merchants will host trick-or-treating in downtown. And credit to them because they purchase a ton of candy to make this such a great event. So that everybody can come down and just, fill the baskets full of candy. So that's from 4:30 to 6 in downtown St. Joe and in downtown Benton Harbor. So if you want to go down there as well, there's candy in the Arts District in downtown Benton Harbor. And all the credit to our downtown merchants that help make that happen. It truly is a community event. It's hard for folks to get in there. And so make sure that if you're coming down for downtown trick-or-treating and you run into a business owner, say thank you, because it's a really beautiful thing that we have in St. Joe. It's super unique, and we want to preserve it. But it's our downtown business owners in Benton Harbor and St. Joe that make that happen.
I think it's awesome that you do that for the kids.
Yeah,
you keep the tradition going. You keep it going because I remember taking my daughter when she was little, going downtown. I hate to say it, I push her through the crowd, say, go. Say, Dad, I can't. No, just go get the candy and let's go to the next one.
It's a big scavenger hunt.
It is.
Yeah, that's right.
You just go through the crowd and get to the line and hang out your bag, then go to the next one.
Yeah. It kind of
nice
sets the stage, right? It primes that pump so that they want more, right?
It's nice that they know that these businesses care.
Yeah. And that's the whole point, right?
That's the point. They care about the community. The one that if they don't open up their shop, does anything happen to them? Honestly, I'd like to know.
No, I mean, people can participate or not participate. We don't require any downtown
why would
business.
They not want to participate?
Well, honestly, it's I don't know if you've priced out what a pound of candy costs.
It doesn't matter. It's for the kids.
Yes, it does. But when you're talking about $25 to $30 per 5-pound bag, and I think at St. Joe Today we're giving away 30 to 35 pounds. Like
I'll spend $50 on candy to pass out, and if I had to give it to an adult, I don't care. I don't care. It's for the kids.
Yeah, and I would say like our downtown businesses see that and believe in that and say yes to this event. And it's a really, really fun evening. It's a really fun way to kick off. So that's from 4:30 to 6, and then from 6 to 7:30, the city opens up for trick-or-treating, and that's kind of like the designated trick-or-treating time.
Yeah. Also, if everybody leaves there, they go out to the
it's go home. Hopefully it doesn't snow this year.
That's what me and my daughter used to do. I said, okay, now we can hit the bigger spots.
Yeah, it'd be, I was like, man, an hour and a half to get candy. That's a scavenger hunt.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and you come loaded.
Yeah.
You come away. You don't have to go trick-or-treating after you go downtown. Like you get loaded up. It's a great game.
Fun.
No, that's when you load up here. And then all of a sudden you drive about 10 miles out.
Or just go to the cool neighborhoods.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
These people
pass out the candy bars.
So I mean, when is the deadline for trick or treating these days?
7:30 in St. Joe.
Yeah, St. Joe City cuts it off at 7:30. Every municipality, every city kind of has a different rule behind.
I think township is 6.
I think it still cuts off at 7:30.
Everybody's 7:30.
There's some neighborhoods that will.
There's towns
take their own rules.
There's other different towns that all of a sudden they close an hour early, so people they hit every town that closes early. They hit that next town next to them.
Yeah,
it's insane.
It's a.
I'm thinking, oh my god,
it's a quintessential American tradition.
I'm thinking, oh my god,
yeah,
right.
In my eyes, I think it's just fucking candy.
You guys remember when it snowed? Remember when it snowed 2 years ago?
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Yeah,
that was
I had no
kids with coats on with their costumes on. Yeah,
I had no trick-or-treaters.
That was great. That's one of my favorite.
I live on the beach. I had no trick-or-treaters.
Nobody wants to come down on the beach when it's
cold. It used to be that was a good place to go because it was galore of people. Now I have every other house is a Chicago person. So yeah, now
they don't get. Oh, they're not there.
They're not there. Yeah, laugh it up.
That's sad.
Yeah,
that's sad. Kids, go to better neighborhoods because Joe's the neighborhood.
Don't go to the beach.
Don't go to Joe's neighborhood because that is not the spot to be.
Maybe 15 tops.
the Chicagoans that they don't.
Oh,
They're not there.
No, they're not there. If they are there, they don't care.
So I had a question that just popped up in my head. Is there an idea that you brought to the committee, the board, so to speak, that did pass?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Something you thought that was going to be a surefire shot at doing something positive for the community and did not pass.
That's a great question. I don't think I've hit that kind of roadblock yet. I don't. There have definitely been ideas that I have floated that were either too big or wasn't the right timing. And I'm hesitate to say any of those out loud, but I think one of the things that continues to be brought up over and over and over again is, when are we going to bring back something like, and I think I even brought this up at the last time we talked.
Let's talk. Wait a minute. Yeah.
Right. Like the Venetian Festival or Barbecue Blues and Bluegrass or Country Fest or,
that stuff.
St. Joe has a long history of,
but that's not St. Joe though. That's not your job.
Those are our events.
I know, but Venetian wasn't yours.
We were very involved in that, and then it got taken over by when it became too big. But barbecue was our event.
Yeah,
Compass Festival was our event. Makers Trail was our event.
What is Compass?
Compass was what the barbecue bluegrass, barbecue blues and bluegrass event became.
Okay.
Barbecue brews and bluegrass became, and COVID really was an interesting stick in that craw, if you will. Like, it wasn't the reason why the festival ended, but it was a poor timing in terms of like when the transition to Compass happened. I don't think it was a bad idea. It was just a combination of poor timing in the world, and also they had terrible weather. It was like 45 degrees and raining, and it was it was just a tough execution. And so that shifted some energy to a different spot. We took on the Makers Trail Festival, and that was really fun, but it doesn't, in my mind, when I took over at St. Joe today, I looked at that event for a lot of reasons, just said, this doesn't make sense for us, right? To take on, we're St. Joe today. We're not, and I love Bridgman. I love the staff over there and what they're doing. But it just felt like we were directing energy and resources that are downtown merchants and kind of what our community trust was hoping that we would do, which is St. Joe, right? Which do events in St. Joe.
Since you brought that up, I had another person talk to me about a couple of weeks ago. They said, "Why don't you bring back the blues and barbecues?"
Yeah,
that's
what I'm getting at. Yeah, so that's something behind the scenes that everybody wants to bring back, but we need to be really strategic in the timing of that, because St. Joe right now has a ton of projects on the horizon that take priority. And so an event like that, which is going to draw a big crowd of people, it's going to take a lot of community resources and bring a lot of people together, especially because booking big bands right now is so expensive. We really want to nail it in year one. And we can talk about these projects, but there's the Main Street Main Street reconstruction project that's coming in 2027. There's the Marquette building, which could be on the horizon starting as soon as Q2 of 26. Both of those would get in the way of a major event in downtown St. Joe. So we're trying to be strategic on so it's not a no necessarily as much as it's like a not yet. I bet that's as strong as a reason I've gotten to some of our ideas.
The people that don't watch and the people that do ask me these questions, because I was part of Venetian, and they always, for some reason, they always think that I have all the answers because I was part of Venetian. Yeah. But that helped me to tell them later on when I see them. It might be in the works. It could be, but it's just bad timing right now because of what's going on in St. Joe. That helps them thinking, okay, it wasn't a bad idea, because in their eyes, it was a great idea down on the below. And it was a great idea. And it made their eyes, it made money and made everybody happy. Because it brought back something that St. Joe had, but doesn't have anymore.
Right. And I like I would love to bring back an event that you could walk through the doors for $15 and buy $5 beers the whole night and listen to a band that you've been listening to for the last 2 decades, right? That's an event I would love to throw. But the reality what we're looking at is talking about throwing a $40 to $50 ticket price at a $10 beer. And that you really, if that's the event that you're trying to plan, you really want to knock it out of the park, because you got to bring in somebody that people are going to want to
see,
pay that for. But like I was getting quotes for some bands that, you know, might have done a great job, but we would have spent our entire budget trying to convince you to come, right? Because you don't know the name of that person. But you know, that's a $30,000 band. Like what's a band going to take that, you know,
I can help you on that.
And I think like that's where we're at. Like, in order to throw an event like that, we're talking about raising a ton of money, and so it's going to take a collaboration of efforts of individuals and organizations coming together to say this is something that we want in St. Joe, not just for 1 year, but for years to come. And here's how we're going to make sure that happens. And so St. Joe Today can be a big part of that, but we can't do it on our own.
No, that's why Venetian, how they needed more sponsors. That's what happened with them.
Right. And we don't want to build something that big, but we do want to build something in the spirit of that, because so many people remember that as a quintessential part of their childhood. And like when they think of St. Joe, they think of, in so many ways, that event. And that event to this generation is like the amusement park to the previous generations of this community, right? They look back and say, remember this town and how much there was to do and all of this activity. Like, I don't think that the desire for that community has left. I think it remains in a very, very strong way. We're in this pivotal transition point where how do we get to St. Joe 2.0, right? If we're at St. Joe 1.0, how do we get to St. Joe 2.0? And the jump actually requires St. Joe 1.1 and St. Joe 1.2,
right,
and then St. Joe 1.3. And so those steps can be a little bit more painful and a little bit harder to take on and to see as part of the bigger picture. But everything that the city is trying to do and the efforts that they're trying to make is all part of a bigger strategy to bring St. Joe and particularly downtown St. Joe into the modern era, right? Like we are blessed with an incredibly beautiful community. In many ways, it's still stuck in a previous era. And so how do we preserve the quaint and charming special place by the lake that St. Joe is? How do we preserve that, but also say, how do we prepare for the next era of nostalgia, right? How does the next generation of kids and young adults say, this is where I grew up, and this is where I grew up visiting? Because so many stories that you hear in this community now start with that sentence.
Yeah.
I grew up coming here, right? This was my hometown. This was my downtown, whether it was Coloma or Stevensville or whatever. How do we make sure that is true for the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years?
So I went to White Pine Winery today.
A great place.
I did. It is. I always go there every Monday. Actually,
You're a regular.
Yeah, I am. I work there because I don't physically work there. I do the podcast work.
You do some work from there.
No, I do podcast work there. Yeah, I do work from there. But yeah. Mm-hmm. And so I got you. I call people, I text people while I'm drinking my wine, and I wait for a response, and then I keep on going. And I talk to the my server, technically, I guess, or there's I don't care, but it goes from there. So I keep talking to them, and they always talk to me about St. Joe City and everything else. But the funny thing is, they know everything that happens in the town. So we talk about the town, and I told you, and you answered their question. But the cool thing is, like he used to know when you guys were in Czars, people always came up to the town and said, "Wish we had this, wish we had that." So what one newer thing that you would love to bring into the city, if you could, and you get the approval for it, what's one thing that you would love to have to make the city residents and everybody else happy? That's true. I mean, you need it.
Yeah, so this is a great question. It's a long list. I don't really
What's your
know
number
where to
one
start.
that you would think?
It's nothing material. It's nothing specific other than I think one of the lessons that we learned this summer was that trust is an incredibly valuable commodity when it comes to doing things in St. Joseph. Is that if you don't have the trust of the people that you're serving and that you're doing things on the behalf of, that whatever you're doing is probably going to fail. So I would say like that's a start. That's like if we can do anything, I would love to get to a place where we recognize the bubble of bliss that we live in and trust the fact that we all want to preserve it. Outside of that very fluffy answer, but it's absolutely true. I'm realizing how fluffy it is.
I'll drink to that.
I think what is attractive to young people? Like what are we missing?
You need more young people.
We and
old generation,
and we can't just bringing young people here, like bringing the youngs here, is not going to fix everything. We have to give them a reason to want to stay. I look at what Stevensville has and Watermark, right? And in a lot of ways, like Watermark, it serves the purpose of St. Joe today in Stevensville in a very different way. Like we do farmers markets, and they do they have pirate jousting on their front lawn. Like we do very different things.
But the funny thing is, you can't put a brewery in St. Joe.
Why not?
Downtown.
Why not?
Where are you going to put it?
Why not? I'm not even suggesting it has to be a brewery.
I'm just saying.
But I think some thought champions that could come in and really without any fear, which I feel like those guys like Chris and Juice and Justin and David and that crew over at Watermark.
Are you friends with them?
I would call them friends. I would hope they call me a friend. I think they do.
Trying to get them on, but they won't.
Yeah.
You see where I'm going with that, James.
I can't speak to their schedules. I know that they are incredibly active people in their communities.
I'm tired of hearing
but
that
they like fair enough.
I'm tired.
That's a very political answer.
It was.
I can't speak to their schedules, but I'll put in a good word.
Okay.
That's all I can do.
That's
but I think thought champions like that will execute without fear, that will look at red tape as an opportunity. I would love to have people like that in the city that we could collaborate with and be the yang to their yin in a lot of ways. Ooh. Right? Because what we do is preserve a lot of that charm and a lot of that quaintness in St. Joseph. And I think there's a lot of great ideas that we would love to take on and adopt that don't really fit our brand. And so to bring in not a competitor, but a collaborator who was thinking in that way, that's at the top of my wish list for sure. And not to say that that person isn't already in St. Joseph. They could be there, but figuring out who that is and figuring out how do we pave the path for them in collaboration with the Marquette, in collaboration with the Main Street Project, and the other things that we wanted to do would really be a special addition to St. Joe, I think.
I like that. Good answer.
That's a good question, Joe.
Thank you. I try. Oh, you want another one?
Yeah, I want to hear another one.
Oh, you want another?
You've been on the board, so you have all the questions for
Mr. Venetian.
Yeah, I worked it a lot.
I'm still learning.
We also don't have to talk about St. Joe the whole time.
No,
there's lots of things I'd love to talk about.
We have another hour.
Yeah, that's
I want to know about St. Joe because a lot of people do ask me questions. So I'm trying to think of the questions they asked me throughout the 9 months you've been gone. So my next question is, how do they want to phrase this? Of all the things that that's going on, why do you change things around?
How do you mean?
like mannequins used to be
Mhm.
in December.
Yep.
So why did you guys think it was a good idea to put it in March? Because it rhymed with M.
Does rhyme is
I mean, that was a convenient phonetic coincidence, but no, it wasn't because March and mannequins had the same starting letter. That we used to have live mannequins in December, and it was
Yeah.
a very, very popular
During the
event,
chili
right?
kickoff.
It was one of the first events I ever came to as a resident of St. Joe. We moved here. My wife said we have to go downtown for live mannequins. I'm like,
when you
what
guys-
are we? What I
Yeah.
don't. Come on, really? It's 20 degrees outside.
It's when they used to do the light the bluff.
Yeah, and I think the new Halo had just come out, and I think that's all I really wanted to do. And
So you're a gamer. I love it.
Oh yeah, yeah. And she wanted to go downtown to the live mannequins. I'm like, please no.
Do I have to go?
No, but I mean, so that
You
was
take the
that was
kids.
like 23 years old. You know, I had very
You
different
take the
priorities.
kids, it's okay.
No, I did not have kids
Oh.
at that age. No, it was just me and her. But she's a lifelong resident of St. Joe. It was one of those events that she looked forward to every year.
Boo, I'll
Wanda,
go with
that's
you.
exactly it. That was it. But that event moved to March Mannequins, and my understanding of that story is was to try to bolster the shoulder seasons. And so St. Joe's a seasonal town, right? We've got summer, and then we've got this blip in the Christmas time, right?
Yeah.
Where downtown gets busy
Between
again.
January and March, you had the blip.
Yeah, you've got this kind of this lull between the end of September and the end of
You did it for the
November.
merchants.
We did it for the business owners, kind of, and they did it in a great way. They came and just said, hey, how do we strengthen these two seasons? We don't need any more in December. We don't need any more in July. We need more in October. We need more in March. And so that was one of the strategies that they tried to implement in order to make that shift. And so they took live mannequins out of December and they moved it. I don't know the history behind Chili Cook-Off. That's in January.
Yeah, I know, but you guys
the day
moved
before.
chili because it used to be on the same day.
Oh, it
Those
did.
live mannequins and actually live mannequins on Friday or vice versa. And then it was opposite, it was chili cook-off. So it was one or the other. So you got to see one.
Right.
I know it was live mannequins on Friday,
Right.
then chili cook-off on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And then they moved them both.
Right.
Off.
And that makes sense, right? Those are two very popular events. Are they going to be popular whether they're in December or
I think
January?
it'll still be.
You know,
They're always
very
popular.
We
I try to get that day
the
off
goal
on
is
purpose.
the goal is to draw people downtown, right? Like we cannot guarantee any business that what we do is going to bring people into their stores. Like there's nothing I can do to guarantee that in any event that we do, but we hope we give businesses the opportunity to say, oh, there are people coming. There are people coming to downtown. What can we do to make sure that every person who comes down here has the opportunity to walk into our store and what we do? And that's the relationship between us and downtown businesses. I would love for it to be more than that, but we have over 350 members, and for us to guarantee business to any one particular member, it's incredibly difficult, right? And so our goal is to try to provide every opportunity that we can within the capacity that we have to bring people downtown to enjoy their city and hopefully take the opportunity that's given to them to walk into those stores.
Wouldn't it be up to the people that own the businesses to get people to come to their businesses while there's people down there?
Right.
I
think that's
so.
Like that's
at the
top of the
You would think so.
entrepreneurial code, right?
Marketing or something like that. I mean,
Hey, this is what we're doing.
Right. And there are many businesses who do do an incredible job like that. And that's why a lot of our events have downtown participation, mannequins being one of those, right? Like our businesses sign up to be a host window.
Yeah.
We try to
Chili
help
Cook-Off.
recruit some of
Great,
those actors.
another one.
Chili
Yeah.
Cook-Off, that's a way that we can partner members. So members outside of the downtown community can bring their chili, serve it out of a downtown businesses. So there's that collaborative effort. TJ's Bar and Grill out of Baroda won the Chili Cook-Off last year, right?
really?
They're not a
That was
down
awesome,
they're not a
though.
downtown vendor, but
that
that was an
awesome.
opportunity for them to be downtown
But
and participate in what
also-
we do.
The one they hosted out of gets the trophy, and they know as the chili cook-off winner.
Well, that
in
also brings business
in that
to
business.
their
Correct. Yeah. You have to go
Yeah.
into the business to try the chili.
Yeah.
And so that's probably the closest that we'll get for one of our events in intentionality, bringing business into your.
You should do a soup cook-off.
Soup cook-off
The
or
best
gumbo.
Gumbo.
Gumbo is really
Or a
gumbo's-
cheeseburger cook-off.
They have one in Kalamazoo that I went to last year.
Yeah.
For what?
Gumbo cook-off.
Really?
That was amazing.
Gumbo.
Yeah.
Okay.
What we did was like
Oh,
we
I
did
like
the
gumbo.
muffin pans.
Mm-hmm.
They did serve little cups, right?
Yeah.
You go fill your muffin pans up.
Slider cook-off.
Hold on, let me finish.
Ooh.
You fill those muffin pans up.
Yeah.
Take it back to your table and just enjoy it. 'Cause I've never been so full in my life.
Oh man, I love this idea.
I had the 24 muffin
Oh,
pans
but yeah,
and fill that thing.
I was
up.
invited to that,
It was
but
amazing.
I couldn't
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Please.
But
But
it's-
that
I
was
love
in
that
the,
idea.
That was in the inner circle, like a parking lot, wasn't it?
no, it was at a bar. It was at a bar.
Yeah.
They had the tents outside where all the
But it was
all,
okay.
and what's that
Wasn't that Bell's?
no. Is that remember that what's that place on Niles that Cajun deli?
Oh, Raging Cajun.
No, the other one.
Nolaroo.
Yeah. They were there. They were in that
Yeah,
contest.
yeah,
They
yeah.
had a
They had
Yeah,
a they had a
gumbo.
great
Yeah.
Creole chili last year. Yeah.
So
Man.
that's another good idea, man. I'm just throwing that out there.
No, yeah, and
I was
you know we get
soup
15 ideas like that a quarter,
Yeah.
right? Of people
Slider
come and say,
cook-off.
"What if you did it?" And so many of them are
Yeah.
great.
Slider was awesome.
But St. Joe is privileged with so many traditional events. It's like,
Right.
okay, in order to do that new idea, which would you like us to not do
Exactly. That's what you're saying.
the beer fest? Would you like us to not do farmers market?
But you can do any festival you want, can't you?
You can do anything you want. You can't do everything you want. Right. And
Yeah.
so that's
That
you
makes
asked me,
sense.
what do I want more than anything? Man, I would love
Yeah.
another version, it could be the upside down version of what we are, right? And that's driving that nightlife,
Yeah.
right? Like
But besides the nightlife part, the hosts for the families during the day at a 7 o'clock at night type of episode, like what we do all the time, you could do another soup, can't you? Have another drive.
Yeah, I mean, I
stuff
think-
like that. Stuff like that.
if we
you could
felt
do.
if we felt like if there was appetite for an event like that and we had the right moment in the calendar, we would be open. Those are great events. So yeah, it's not whether or not we want to do them. It's do we have both the appetite from the community to participate, and also is it something that we can pull off in the way that we hope to, right? Like there's
How would you know until you don't try?
Joe.
Get him.
Oh no,
Get him,
you
Paul.
can't get
I've
me.
been waiting on this. He's been asking these questions.
How would you
So
know you
like
don't
so
try?
like this downtown spectacular, it's a 5-hour event, right? It's a Halloween market. We do markets all the time. We can do that in our sleep. Okay, it's a pumpkin patch. Okay, let's do a downtown hayride. How hard can that be? You're organizing a costume parade. Like, what does that take? Like spooky lighthouse tours. And you're right. In a vacuum, each one of those things isolated probably isn't that hard to organize. We've been planning this event for 9 months.
Yeah.
Right. So you're talking about a 5-hour event. To do the first time, it's like planning a wedding. And that's because we have an incredibly high, and really,
You only need two.
and really it's Danny who's doing all this, because Carly's our membership person, Kira's doing marketing, Jackie and Grace, they're at the front desk working with our visitors who come into the welcome center. So you've got one person who's doing the lion's share of 70 events a year, and so and she's a superstar. She's a superstar. There's a reason why she was in the 40 under 40 this year. That being said,
she made that event.
Yes, she did, and she and probably the most
Good for
deserving,
her.
and probably the
Good for
most
her.
deserving of it.
No,
but
I give props to anybody that gets that.
yeah, it's Pat does
awesome.
a great job.
That's awesome.
It's such a great event year after year. But yeah, we want to do new things like that, but we are reaching our limit in terms of what our pool of resources can accommodate, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
In order to do more, we don't just need more money, we need more people, right?
Yeah.
And more people requires a lot more money than what we have. So we want to grow, we want to expand every single year. Like that's the heart, that's part of my posture in this role, is to do more and to do more and do more. It happens slowly. And I think one thing I've learned coming from as a pastor in the church community is that the best change, the best transformation happens incredibly slowly, right? It moves like molasses, not like rapids. And because it's sticky and it's ingrained, and you do it the right way the first time, and it becomes so much easier to do it the right way the second time. And so we need trust, and we need patience, and we need resilience in order to do the really great things that this community is capable of.
Can I ask this last question?
Sure.
Go ahead, Joe.
Before we hit the top of the hour.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, Paul, what's your 5-year goal with St. Joe City?
Oh man, 5-year goal. I'll give you a 3-year goal.
No, I want 5.
Well, let's start with 3, because I think 3 will take 5. And the reason why it's 3
I was supposed to ask that
is
question.
I'm envisioning, and I'm hesitant to say this out loud, because I've learned in this community that you shouldn't say things that you aren't willing to actually put your muscle behind. So
I know.
maybe this is committing to something I don't necessarily want. But I've got Project 2028 on the brain. This Main Street project and the Marquette are both scheduled to finish in the summer of 2028.
Okay.
So this is an incredible reopening opportunity for the city of St. Joseph. And so what can we do in that summer to really invite people downtown to not just come to the same St. Joe they've come to their entire life, but a brand new St. Joe that has a new Main Street, has a new building with 2 new anchor restaurants and 100 new residents that are bringing life and energy into downtown. Maybe at that point we've got that, that collaborative hub in the center of downtown that's attracting new energy. Maybe there's new murals that are popping up around town that are attractive, expanded lighthouse hours. And so it's not necessarily the goal of one thing, but it's seeing that opportunity in front of us. Like, let's not let that slip by, right? That, like, we're going to go through some very short term, but some very intense chaos over the next couple of years in St. Joe. And it's going to be worth it. There's no doubt in my mind that it will be worth it. And the plans that are coming, and even the plans beyond that point. But that construction downtown, that construction on Main Street, it's going to be a pain in the tail. There's no doubt about it, right? And if we don't trust our community, if we don't have patience and resilience, then we're not going to experience the good fruit that will come from it.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I raised my hand because of this. So with that new project going across from Nardo's, respect you, Nardo. I love you guys.
We love Nardo.
So with Nardo's there, that parking lot where the old YMCA is, I saw the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Is that whole, I hate to say it like this because I'm going to be mean, is that whole fucking building is going to be on that land, or is it going to take over that land and the parking lot next to it?
It will take the land and the parking lots next to it. Yes.
So did the city of St. Joe had to give that to him?
Yeah. So they did not give it to him. They sold it to them.
Yeah,
so the city, sold that to TRG, the Rinks Group, who are the developers of that land, and have been some great new partners to the community there. Peter is already an investor in downtown St. Joe. He owns multiple properties in downtown, and has a great heart for what's going on down here. I was
really shocked that he got into it.
You know him?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a great guy. I'm really excited about his plan. But yeah, it's gonna be a big building right there in probably the most underutilized piece of property.
Now, I don't want to sound like some kind of idiot, but what is actually going in that spot?
No, yeah, you're not an idiot to sound like that. I love it's an incredible building. It's a $55 million project that will include 100 new dwelling units. So
it's feasible units.
So
for businesses and such.
It's going to be apartments. It'll be
feasible apartments.
So it'll be 68 apartments and 32 condos. The 32 condos will be on the top 3 floors, 5, 6, and 7. those will be luxury condos priced to purchase with no restriction. And then there will be 68 apartments and the floors under it. Those will be restricted to a price measured at 120% of the median household income for the state of Michigan. So if the state of Michigan sets that median household income at $65,000, they will set the rate of rent for those apartments at 120% of whatever that formula comes out to. So you're probably looking at somewhere between like $1,800 and $2,200 for an apartment.
Location.
Though, and correct.
No, it's not.
You are paying a premium. It's that extra 20% on the 100, but
you're paying more for location. Yes, not yes. I hate that. Not yes. You're paying for what he just said. You're paying for what the rate is for the state of Michigan. You're getting screwed from the state of Michigan. It's all the state of Michigan. It's not just here. Every state of Michigan is getting rated by us.
But we are one of the higher earning zip codes in the state of Michigan.
From the coast to coast, everybody that's on this coast of Lake Michigan, you're getting rated by them. It's not just so the city knows they're not screwing you over for this rate. They're screwing you over because of the whole state.
Well, and I would argue
not just St. Joe. I will represent you guys on St. Joe.
Well, here's why I would say they're not screwing you over, because it's a price cap, right? And so yes, it might still be high in comparison to other 2-bedroom apartments in St. Joseph, but those 2-bedroom apartments aren't going to be in downtown St. Joe on the bluff, right? And so the other caveat of those apartments is it's your full-time residence, right? So it can't be a second residence. So that's a hedge to prevent, that Chicago creep, that Grand Rapids creep, that Detroit creep that we're worried about, and saying it's just going to be a bunch of Chicago folks buying second houses. That might be true of the condos. That very well might be true of the condos, but for the 68 apartments underneath, the goal is for those to be full-time residents of the city of St. Joe.
They want St. Joe people in.
Right. So think about it that way. You've got 68 new full-time residents, at the minimum 68 new full-time residents who are earning above the median average household income for the state of Michigan. Think about how many dollars that's going to bring into downtown St. Joseph. It's going to be a renaissance in terms of business down there. And so if we look at Project 2028 as that opportunity, my 5-year goals, that's all I'm thinking about right now.
I would love to have an apartment in there.
We all would.
Okay, now my second question on that. What about what's going to happen with the parking?
Yeah, so
you brought that up.
No, so there's 87 spots that are taken up from those two. Actually, I think it's less than that. I think it's 67 spots or something like that. It's enough to be. It's enough to notice, right?
Just round it.
Let's round it up to 70. So the ordinance of the city says that there needs to be one parking space for every dwelling unit. So there'll be 100 new dwelling units. That means that the Rhines Group is on the hook for 100 parking spots to accommodate the residents. Part of the condition of the sale of the property is that the Rhines Group would also consider the spots lost for public consumption. And so the Rhines Group is committed to underground parking at a minimum of the 100 plus the parking that is lost under that. Now, that will not necessarily be free parking, but it will be available parking to the public. That will be an underground parking garage under the Marquette building.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a huge.
I knew that part.
It's the biggest development maybe to ever come to St. Joe. It's the first public development since the 80s. It's the first shovel in the ground since 1997 when they built City Hall. It's an incredible opportunity.
And hence the price tag on it, what, 55 million?
55 million, yeah.
Wow.
I went to the proposal, and that's why in my eyes, I'm thinking, I didn't know they bought the other land next to it. And my eyes, I'm thinking, how the fuck are they putting this beautiful landmark on this small ass land? Are they buying that from the city?
Yeah, they are.
And that's why I had a picture. I said, are they buying that?
They have to.
Yeah.
But then the other half I think they're digging up the part where they're excuse me, digging up in the parking lot, that's where they're going to dig up because they have to make it the ground level.
Right.
So they're going to dig up where the parking lot that St. Joe gave them.
So it's going to become a giant hole because
It's gonna,
comes out.
that's going to
gotta
be a
build
big
that
giant
parking
hole
garage
right
first,
there. It's going to be a giant hole, and then from there they're going to go out.
Yeah, but if you think about what it's going to take to build a $55 million project, right?
Yeah.
Like there's no getting around. There's no getting around the vehicles, the equipment that will be involved in making that happen, and what it will take to work around that. And I think that's where I come back to trust, patience, and resilience. Like we don't get the good things that come from a project like that. If you think about all of that, those residents and the disposable income that they will bring to merchants into downtown St. Joe, we don't get the fruit that comes from that.
Yeah.
And without the short-term pain of dealing with that equipment, and
It's gonna be a pain.
Yeah, it'll mean streets closed.
Yeah.
It'll mean
you're gonna hear a lot of hard
businesses. It'll be hard to get around the fact that some businesses will be affected by just the fact that Pleasant Street will be closed, Broad Street will be closed at certain points. Like, and there's commitments to do that as minimally as possible, and I believe that they're committed to it. But there's just going to be no way around it.
But Lakeview is not going to be closed.
2-year project.
They're starting in Q2 of 26. They hope to be done in Q2 28.
Yeah, they
wow.
Everything's gonna be done in 28. Hopefully.
Yeah. And the Main Street project starts
weather permitting.
Yeah, I mean, there's the blackout, like the winter blackout, where stuff just can't really start or continue. But
they're not like Chicago where they can just keep on building.
The Main Street project is going to be interesting. The timeline that they have put out there will have that main drag in the downtown that will be done before the summertime. So that will be where that will be open. They're committed to that. There's a lot of things have been committed to over the years. Again, I just that's happening whether or not the city of St. Joe wants it to or not, because that's the state of Michigan. That's a state regulated highway. They are working with us in the plan. It's going to be a really interesting plan, but streets are going to be moved. One ways are going to become two ways. Two ways are going to become one ways. There's going to be new
chaos.
There's new green space coming in. There's a lot happening all at once.
Have you seen the plan, James?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
This is my first hearing of it.
No, look it up. No, look the picture up.
Okay, I will.
That actually, the place looks,
but
I hate to say it, fucking awesome.
Well, it'll be more pedestrian friendly, which is ultimately the goal. Because right now you're playing Frogger every single time you cross a main street to get. If you're going for the market, and they're like, let's go down to the farmers market. Like you got to cross 5 lanes of traffic in order to do that.
Playing Frogger.
Yeah. We all love playing Frogger. We don't like doing it with our lives.
Exactly.
I do actually. I say rip it.
And unfortunately, the worst happened this summer. And we just don't want that to happen again. So this project will get us to a place where we can have a better guarantee of safety crossing Main Street.
And that's a big
it's a huge deal. Again, it's another opportunity to look at downtown in a whole new way.
All right, guys, we're at the top of the hour. Third Eye Truth Theorem Podcast, episode 127. This is James Gill, your host. This is Joel rubbing his ears. And our special guest, Paul Knapp. All right, guys, if you're watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and make sure you tune in every Monday and Wednesday at 8 p.m. when we do new episodes every Monday and Wednesday. So, guys, we're getting back to the episode. Let's get back to let's get out of the St. Joe thing. I want to talk a little more serious note.
Oh, shit.
And this is a question to both of you.
You're gonna ask a question?
We've both seen the incident that happened with Lakeshore and
okay.
Lloyd Norks or something. What school was that?
Lakeshore and Kalamazoo Central.
Kalamazoo Central.
Yeah.
I saw something today that was touching to me about that whole episode.
You're talking about the two dads?
No, let me finish, man. It's not interrupted.
I can't help it.
Then you can. Well, I've heard your take on it. You wanted the kids suspended for the rest of the school year.
Yeah. Fuck that.
Well, no. See, this is where I'm going a different way with it because.
All right. I'll let you go.
Because I saw the thing on Facebook where the two dads and the two kids got together.
Yeah.
And and pretty much water under the bridge, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I know your thoughts on it, and I think that's a little harsh.
They don't know my thoughts.
But I know your thoughts. I'm saying I'm gonna let you answer.
I'll let him go
I'm gonna
first.
answer. I'm gonna let you answer. I know your thoughts on it. I want to hear Paul. I want you to start off with it. What was your initial thought on the whole incident that you saw? Because it went nationwide.
Yeah. God help the administrators who would have to hold me back if that happened to my kid.
Yeah.
Right. Like I think that was my initial reaction. Nobody ever wants to see that happen to any kid. Nobody ever wants to see that happen to their kid. It's incredibly unfortunate. I think there's another part of me that remembers being a 15-year-old kid once and the stupid stuff that I did and the stuff I did without thinking. I've got a 7-year-old boy at home, and the amount of invoices that I have to pay for because of his curiosity. It's got to call in to he messed up our fireplace the other day, and now I've got to call some contractor to come in and fix that. And it's just like his curiosity, right? And I'm not excusing what this young man did just on the basis of curiosity. But I remember being 15 before.
Yeah.
I remember asking the question, "What if?" I remember being on the football field in the heat of competition, and the adrenaline and the anger that can come in those moments
Right.
when everything is firing. It's an angry game. It's a violent game. If you think it should be something else, then there might be another sport for you to play, right? Like that. There's like it. So yeah, that's a lot of my thought. There's nothing I can say that I would want to be misconstrued as any kind of justification of what this young man did. But I don't necessarily. I think what we saw was the best of humanity in the conclusion of it, and I hope that's an opportunity for us to look at future moments like this that will happen again, whether in our community or another community, and say like, okay, what opportunity is this challenge presenting, right? Like how can the best of humanity come out of this? And I think that's what we ended up seeing in the end of it, right? It doesn't justify what happened, right? It doesn't mean that we would hope that happens again so we can have this great opportunity of reconciliation occur again. But at the same time, if we can't have grace for our youth, who can we have grace for? So I'm incredibly grateful that the best of our humanity was showcased in the probably not the conclusion of this moment, but where we are at in this moment. Yeah. But at the same time, if that happened to my kid, I don't know what I would do.
Right? I can definitely relate to that, because if that happened to me, I would probably be in the same position. Where I would be angry.
Oh, for sure.
Want some actions taken.
Yeah.
And things of that nature. But as a human being, we all make mistakes.
Yeah.
We have to remember these are 15-year-old kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what he did, I'm not saying what he did was right. It was definitely wrong. I saw the video, and it was horrible what he did. He shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad that the two fathers got together, and the kids, and totally made it better. Because we, as a society, we're butting heads already.
Yeah.
With even if you want to bring the Charlie Kirk thing into play, we're a nation that's butting heads.
Sure.
And this does not help humanity in any way, because all it does is just divides us.
Right.
And then that's a sad thing to see.
We forget we're all on the same team, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
Right. Like. We only get one community. We only get one world. We only get one chance to live in that world. And the things that divide us are all our fault, right? Who's to blame for the things that separate us? Oh, it's us. Like no one created these things except for us. And and there are things that matter, that have nuanced ways of looking at, right? And there isn't necessarily an ultimate right for that is adoptable across the human condition. But that doesn't mean we aren't still all human beings with the same color blood pumping through our veins. And I think oftentimes we're so drawn to the opportunity to pick a side. And that doing that strips the humanity out of the other side. Like, look at all the humans on my side. These are obviously what humanity is supposed to look like. You obviously do not look like what humanity is supposed to look like. So therefore, I'm going to strip you of what is inherent about you, which is the fact that you are a human person with agency and opinions and experience that shaped why you think the way you think. I'm going to discredit all of that because you're wearing a different color than me, or because you voted for a different person than me, or you have a different algorithm on TikTok than I do, right? And if we could just take a step back and realize, like, holy cow, like, I'm way closer to holding a sign on the corner of the street than I am to owning a yacht, right? No matter how much I can make in this community, I'm way closer to being that guy than I am to having, a second home in Malibu. And shouldn't I be more concerned about going in that direction than I should be going in upwards?
Yeah.
Or making sure that their lives are better. And so I think we, as a human collaborative, have the opportunity to really reassess our values and what it is that we want as a community and as a culture and as a country. And if freedom and democracy and security aren't at the top of that list, I'm not sure if we've got a great pathway forward.
Joby, I want your take now. Go ahead.
On which part of all the parts you
whole
guys
thing,
have
the
said?
whole thing,
Oh my God.
Just the whole thing in general. What is your view on the whole thing?
My whole thing on the thing was, yes, the kid messed up. He knew he messed up. He knew he's going to get in trouble. Yes. But my thing is, how you just said, the two parents colliding, there was a picture on that.
Oh, yeah.
We're the fucking mothers. I'm sorry. I hate to say that. We're the fucking mothers on that. We're the two people that do care about. There was the two fathers. Yeah. The two fathers are going to say, hey, yeah, it's okay. They're just kids. They're playing football. No, we're the mothers in this aspect. No. If it's a family picture and they all agreed to it, the two mothers got to be in the picture too. In my eyes, if there is a mother involved, yes. If they had passed away, I'm sorry. But we're the two mothers. They have agreement on that too. The two fathers can say, yeah, dude, they're just playing football. It was a hit. It was this.
And we don't know the rest of the story, right?
Know,
we just got to see what was pictured on Facebook.
A picture on Facebook? And no, they had a story on it.
Right.
And that story was the two fathers say, yeah, and whatever it said. And I read the whole thing. The first thing I read that was like, almost like 2 paragraphs long. I'm sorry. You got the aspect of the fathers on that. My eyes, I'm more, if my daughter, that happened to my daughter or that happened to my son, I'm looking at both aspects. I'm looking at both features. He did the wrong where he knew the whistle blew. He jumped on the guy's ass. I'm sorry. The play's dead. You heard it. You're not going to get repercussions from it?
I mean,
he did? Oh, 15 yards. Okay.
I don't think any penalty was called, and I think that was a big part of the controversy is that it's nothing happened. But to your point, like there's no doubt that what the kid did was wrong, right? Does that mean he should go to jail?
No.
Maybe. Does that?
No.
I mean, let's have the conversation. But let's have the conversation. and get to the point collectively where we realize, like, oh, maybe that isn't the best pathway forward for behavioral change. Which is ultimately what we need, right? Like, what we don't know this, but like, why did that kid choose to do that? It could be as simple as that his 15-year-old lizard brain, which we were all victims to at one point, that's flooded with 14 truckloads of hormones every single second being dumped on his prefrontal cortex to be like, that looks fun. Like,
it's not the first time he did it though.
Maybe not. And maybe it won't be the last. And if it continues to be a pattern of behavior, that's great. We don't know the whole story about how they came together. I think it's an opportunity to say, like, whatever happens from here on out is theirs, and we get the opportunity to look at how they reconciled and say, what does that look like for me? Right? Like, whose dad do I need to call and sit down across the table?
I'm gonna ask you a question now. So if this kid gets laid off and not get suspended on games,
he has been 3.
Yeah. So the 4th game, he does it again.
And then it's a problem. No.
Should we kick him off for the whole field? And I was right.
You were right, but you know what?
No, that's what I'm asking.
This is what I'm going to jump in here, because this is a broadcast nationwide.
Yeah, if he does it again.
So people had their opinions on it, and whether it was good or bad, this kid should be in jail. The parents should pay for the.
Not be in jail. I don't think he should be in jail.
But you went to the extreme that
kick him off the football team.
Joe, what does that prove though?
It shows that you did something wrong. 3-game suspension. Even the pros, I think if a pro does head-on collision, not just 1-game suspension. I think he gets 3-game suspension or something more severe, where it's going to kill him. Where this the parents went.
They only play 8 games.
No, the parents went, oh shit! What happened? He's a senior. If he was
15, JV.
I know, but they even said on one thing, they said, oh, it's gonna kill him on the recruiting. I went, oh my god, why do you care? He did something wrong. He jumped on a guy when he was undefensive.
Joe, and we know it's morally wrong to do something. Do something like that. We know that.
And the harsh.
Know that. He did it 2 other times before that.
Did he hurt somebody doing that?
Well, did they?
Probably not.
But did they come out? Did they come out and say they hurt him? They probably didn't want to say anything.
He probably didn't hurt the other 2 people. That's so it was overlooked.
Yeah, we can't speak to the motive. We can't speak to why. We can't speak to how. We can suggest and wonder, like, man, what if we reduced what if we reduce the need to posture in a world where we have to assert our dominance, right? Like, there's not a greater love, or there's not somebody who loves football more than I do. I love the game of football. I love watching football on Sundays at my father-in-law's house. I love coaching my son's Rocket team.
Oh, you coach Rocket?
I coach flag right now. He's 7 years old. But at the same time, like, it is a hyper aggressive game, and there are conditions that come with that I don't love, especially about the program and what is allowable. And that I don't love all these celebrations. I don't love all the posturing that happens, right? Like, you have the privilege of playing a game, and yes, there's a certain amount to be celebrated in that. But I'm a Lions fan, so I grew up with Ndamukong Suh. Like, how many times did he get fined for stomping on somebody after the play?
Yeah, you got fined.
Right.
It's a brush off.
But
guys making millions.
What are we celebrating, right? And I think that's the opportunity of society we can look at and say, okay, what are we celebrating as a community that has led towards this being an option in any young man's brain, right? And what can we do to try to change that going forward, right? We can look back and say, well, this should have been done, this should have been done, we can't go back in time, not yet anyway. And so until we can, all we can do is what we have going forward, right? And so I think our responsibility is not to interject in some kind of Facebook feud that will only add to the horrid culture that we currently exist in, but instead say, okay, what can I learn from the grace that these 2 parents had with each other, with their sons? What did they model for those sons, regardless of who was there and who wasn't there? Like,
That still cracks me up, though. I'm sorry.
Right, because the moms were
The moms weren't in the picture, and
Okay.
it was
But the
at,
mom-
it was at a I would say it was just at a like
a restaurant of some sort.
Yeah.
Let's say that.
long, and the server had to take the picture. It was one family on the other side of the family, and they're all in each other between the table, saying, smiling galore, and it was. In my eyes, it was
You don't think
fucking
they had a talk?
But God,
No,
you know
no,
what?
It was the two.
You know what, Joe?
It was the two families. It was two families, but it was the two fathers.
Okay.
Where are the mothers?
You know,
the mothers have to have agreement. The mothers are the ones that more protect the sons. Where are the mothers?
and I wish that even more than
killed
that
me.
example
killed me.
at that restaurant, wherever it was, we don't see that picture coming from the tables of Washington, D.C. right now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like that's an example that's not being set for us at the higher
agree with
levels.
you
And I
totally
think
on
that's
that.
the opportunity where we get to look at and say,
Yeah.
okay, hey, oh, wait a second. That's what this is supposed to look like, right? And again, no justification in this other than to say, oh, wait a second, we can share a table and remember that we are in this together, and we live in a shared community, and it's our responsibility to keep it organized in a way that functions for the most of us. And so I think that's the opportunity here. Like we can't conjecture necessarily on all the different, like what's going on behind the scenes or what's it all, but like let's just take that moment and say, oh, where are we not seeing that? And why does that feel funny? And what is the truth? What is the reality that we want to see here? What could we choose to see?
I think you picked the subject because it hypes me up.
Like, what's your third eye meant to see in
The
this
truth
moment?
out of it.
Like, what's the truth that's meant to be seen that's bigger than
But
these
still,
actual
It gets back
avatars?
to what if this ever happens in any other school? What is the school board going to do from then beyond? That's the thing.
That's not our job
I
on
know,
Facebook
I
and on
know.
like
Yeah.
that's
It's not just Facebook.
Kalamazoo Central has to do what's best for that kid in that moment. I'm not convinced that kicking that kid off the football team is the best way to change that kid's behavior going forward.
No.
Why?
And I think why? Because it could be worse.
Yeah.
Right. In the same, like
you're trying to.
I led Young Life for 10 years in St. Joe High School.
That's
And like,
right, you
and I was on the front lines with kids for a decade. And it was worse when kids quit the baseball team. It was worse when kids got kicked off the basketball team.
Mentally, they go through a depression stage where if they were kicked off for a year, they're down on themselves about feeling bad. This does not help
the kid who gets kicked off the
basketball.
basketball team for vaping. Guess what they're doing?
Vaping.
They're going to vape more.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and so we have to think of better ways in order to change behavior, because we're not raising children. That's the mistake that we're making. We're not raising children. We're raising adults. Right. And the world is hard, and the world is ruthless, and it's going to kick your ass every single second it gets the chance to.
Definitely.
And we get the opportunity to shape these minds for 18 quick years. And if we think we're trying to raise kids, we're failing.
Yes.
Right. We are raising adults. And we have to keep them in the tension in order to shape them into the trusting, patient, resilient humans that are going to make sure that we have a world going forward.
Got something to say? Their faces just turning red over there.
Oh, yes. I gotta switch legs.
Accountability doesn't always, it's not absolute, right? Like,
no. Yes.
Spit it out.
A parent's job is know what your kid does wrong and make it better for them. My eyes, if my daughter ever, I'll say it, fucked up in her life, I found out, try to make it better. Yes, I'm the one that raised her to go where she's at. It's every parent's job to know what your kid's doing, but every kid does their own, judges their own, feels their own, everything else. But once you find out, try to change that. Try to change that aspect. Try to change everything. That 3 game suspension, make him do better. Make him think better. Make him do something better for himself. And
the only way you can do that is if he stays on the team.
And and not only that, it starts at home too. It starts at home.
That's what I'm saying.
The parents have to be hold themselves accountable for his actions. Like I said, he's only 15.
Right. And what we saw was
saying.
a parent holding their kid accountable to their actions, right? And
But,
asking for forgiveness, and then that forgiveness being given.
Why is it always gonna be the father in it though?
Dude, the mothers were in it from the beginning.
I'm not comfortable bringing the moms in
this. The mother was in it from the beginning because they're the ones that say, my kid got hit. My kid got hit this. My kid got that.
We all can agree that is a violent game. That what he did was wrong. And I hope he can learn from this. I totally hope he can learn from this, because if we keep butting heads and hating each other for something that happened that was stupid on one person's part, it's gonna get worse. It's only going to get worse.
That's right.
It's only going to get worse. And for you to get so irate and red in the face about this, you should think with a level head, more or less.
I am thinking a level head. I think the kid should hold more accountable for what he's done wrong.
He's been held accountable.
Let him talk about it.
I'm sure he has. Can you imagine the hate mail he's got if he has a social platform?
I want to.
Or his parents, or the phone calls his parents have gotten over the past month and a half, 2 months.
This is a pivotal moment in his adolescence. 15 years old, like this, the memory of this moment will not fade for a very, very long time. And what he will remember is not what he will carry with him is not necessarily what he did, but the consequences of what he did, right? And those consequences should be felt, but he will make a mistake again, right? And this young man who was the victim will be on the other side of that mistake making again. And we're shaping the way that these children who will grow into adults will make decisions going forward, and the consequences of those decisions might be much more, in fact, impactful than the 100 yards on a Friday or Thursday night, right?
Yeah.
So,
like
I think, I don't think it's our job to tell kids what to think. It's to teach them how to think, and I think that's in essence what I think we're hoping to see out of this outcome. Is at the end of the day, how are we meant to respond as a community? How are we meant to come together? Are we meant to come together around, like, let's grab the pitchforks and the torches and storm the gates of Dr. Frankenstein's castle? Or are we meant to say, like, man, how can we live collaboratively with Dr. Frankenstein? That's the whole idea of the story, right? Like, I don't know. We're getting lost. We're out in the weeds on this, but
he brought it up.
Yeah, no, it's a great conversation. It's definitely timely within this community. It's affected. It's popped up in a lot of different circles that I'm a part of, and my opinion's been asked a couple different times. And I think I can land on the fact that I'm just so grateful that the outcome that what we witnessed to.
I am too. I'm very happy for
the outcome we got.
These two families got, well, at least the fathers and the families got together and collaborated and found a happy medium with this whole thing. Right. Because, like I said, the news media blew this up, and everybody was going crazy with this.
And I'll tell you this: it'd be hard for me to walk into that meeting if my wife wasn't on my team with me there, or if the mother of our child wasn't on the same page there. Like, that'd be a hard place to disagree and then walk in and have a clear head and a clear mind doing that. That's my thoughts on that.
I thank you for your appreciate your thoughts. Thank you, Joe, for your thoughts too. You just got your face is turning red.
Yeah. What do you guys make of? So let me ask you a question, because this is a third eye truth theorem. So, like, the assumptions that come with a podcast that's titled like this. A couple weeks ago, and I know very little about this. I know nothing about. So maybe you can educate me, or maybe this will lead to a different conversation. But a couple weeks ago, the rapture was supposed to happen. Did you hear about this?
No, I didn't hear about this.
There was a large group of people that believed, I think it was last Tuesday, that was the date that the rapture.
You're talking about when they stop people at the border?
No. It's a theological concept of the beginning of Armageddon, where the faithful to Jesus will be taken up, and there's this trope that our clothes will be left behind as if we are transported in our human naked bodies up into heaven, and that there will be some that will be left behind, right? And like all the things that are happening in the world are leading up to that. It sounds like maybe that I'm educating you more, and I don't have a very educated stance on this, but there's wonder what your thoughts. Them throwing that out there and just be like, let's drift into that jungle.
I didn't hear about it, but this is my thought on it. That all the things that are happening and coming to a head right now, it's like a culmination of things that have been boiling for a long time. Whether it's people hating each other for color, or political views, or religious views, it's all coming to a head, and I think to the point where no one wants to sit down and have a discussion about it.
Right. They just want to leave.
They just want to leave.
Right. And they're hoping somebody takes them out of here.
Well, exactly.
Right.
So it's to me, it's more like, if you don't have a solution for anything, it's always a problem, and you want to see how people react. Well, nowadays people react so weirdly now. They get so upset and so hurt over certain words that trigger them. They don't think straight. They don't think logically to, hey, what can I do that'll make this better? Mm-hmm. How can I talk to this person on a level that they can understand that I'm not your enemy? I just want to talk about this and get this out in the open. Now, I'm not a huge religious person, but I do understand it. But at the same time, people have to learn how to get along with each other, and that's the true nature of Jesus, right? Everybody should be able to get along and love each other.
Right. It's love. His commission is to love your friends, to love your neighbor, and love your enemy. And if you love your neighbor and you love your enemy, then you don't have any enemies.
Exactly. So if we can have a level head and create a level playing field where everybody can be equal almost, and sit down and discuss things, I think this world will be a lot better place.
Right.
It'll never happen.
Well, I think the lie that we tend to drift, that we especially and God forbid a world where this wasn't true, but I think especially when we're young, we believe that total tolerance is possible, that we can live in a totally tolerant world, right? That we can that every decision that every person makes, or the identity that they choose, that they are born with inherently, or that they choose to adopt, that is totally tolerant. And where that falls apart is with the people who disagree with whether that's true, right? Because there are plenty of people in the world who don't believe that total tolerance is true, and in fact live in a world in which that is impossible. And so you have these two colliding ideologies where, no, all of us can be totally tolerant of each other, except for you, who doesn't believe that tolerance is possible, right? Which is where we butt heads. So we all just get along? But I don't want to get along with you because you don't believe you can get along, right? And I think the message of Jesus wasn't necessarily one of total tolerance, but total of inclusion, and an inclusion that required an active participation, right? Is if you look at the people that Jesus pushed against in the Gospels, if you looked at those that he questioned and that he had the most amount of strife with, it was these groups of people that were in many ways trying to exclude others based off of law, or based off of race, or based off of politics. And so oftentimes these are people that are called like the Pharisees or the Sadducees, these Jewish religious leaders, who are the people that Jesus had the most tension with. It's the people that are at the top of the religious ranking, making these rules and holding people accountable to these levels of tolerance or inclusion. In order to be in the in-group, you have to meet this certain set of standard or criteria. And Jesus said, no, you just have to follow. And following requires action, right? It requires okay, yeah, I will take a step forward. But that comes at a cost. There's that classic story of Jesus and the rich man. Maybe you've heard this one before, where this rich guy comes to Jesus, and Joe's got to pee, but that's okay. We'll keep going.
You keep going.
There's this rich guy. He comes to Jesus, and he's like, "Listen, man, I've done everything I need to do. I've kept the Sabbath. I've kept all the commandments. I've whatever the rules he felt he was told he needed to follow, he follows." And he comes to Jesus and goes, "What do I need to do to inherit the kingdom of God?" And Jesus says, "Sell everything you have and follow me." And that's all he had to do. But he couldn't do it, so he walks away, right? Because his faith wasn't in love. It wasn't in grace. It wasn't in these things that Jesus embodied, right? And we could debate whether or not Jesus was literally talking about himself as Jesus or the idea of him. But that man's God was the religion. Tell me what I have to do, right? How much do I got to give? How many times do I got to go to church? How many? And what Jesus was actively doing was saying, no, come with me. Leave that life behind, right? That life will never get you where you want to get you, where you want to go. It will always leave you unsatisfied. If you want to live a satisfied and a full life, let me show you how to do that. Come with me. You don't need any of that. And I think, and ultimately that was too much for him. And I think ultimately that's too much for most of us, right? Because our God isn't God, it's comfort, right? What do I need to tolerate? What do I need to do in this life to be the most comfortable, right? And when we get uncomfortable with life as it is, we start dreaming about another life that could be.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. And I think Jesus was trying to teach us how to live life here, not anywhere else. And so if we start living for life somewhere else and hoping that somebody comes and picks us up to take us to this other, whatever it is, we're just as culpable as this rich young ruler who that's not following Jesus, right? That's
also, you in the office down there?
Anyway, I'm preaching now, but at the end of the day, I to me, it just felt like that's just such the easy way out. Right?
And I think it is.
Yeah.
Because if we were waiting for someone to come save us from all this turmoil and anguish, then what are we doing in this world to make it better? We're not doing anything particularly well right now.
Or we believe that this world doesn't matter, that we believe this life doesn't matter, that doesn't have meaning. And I choose to believe that it does, and that God put us here for a reason.
Yeah.
Right? Not he didn't put us here to for some other reason than here. That's a nuanced way to look at it all, but I've just been really hung up on, it's supposed to be Tuesday, it didn't happen. Now the goalpost is moving, and just thinking about like, man, that sounds really nice.
Do you think
somebody just come and just pick me up, take me away?
Do you ever think we'll see that in our lifetimes? That time where
man, the conditions for what is described for that to happen feel very present. I'm sure that they've felt very present in other points in the timeline. I don't know. Like I think God's going to get what he wants at the end of the day. Like, and that's the debate. At the end of the day, what does God want?
Yeah.
But if you believe in a higher power, if you believe in a creator, whether that's an omniscient, omnipresent, all-powerful being, or purely just like a catalyst who flipped a switch, like whatever whatever nuanced take you have on that higher power across the religious spectrum, if you believe in that there's something bigger out there than you and that it isn't you, then this has to be for something. It can't be purposeless. At least I really don't want it to be.
Right,
you know, like
right.
I really, gosh, man, this is a lot of pain and suffering for nothing,
For nothing,
right?
yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, wow, this is great. But like, if God truly made us people and not pets, then this makes a whole lot of sense. If freedom was meant to be baked in from the beginning, then this makes total sense, right? That we are given the freedom to choose to sit across the table from a person who broke our back and say, I forgive you.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's a choice that we can make. We are not required to do that. And if we were required to do that, would that make it better? No.
No, not really.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
No, it would actually make it worse, because anything that's forced, anything that's required of us isn't loving. Right? We have much stronger words for when we force on our love onto somebody else. We call that rape. Right?
Yeah.
There isn't a better word for it, and I don't think that that's what God wants for us. Like, I think the greatest gift that God gave to us, I believe, is freedom. The freedom to choose to love.
Free will.
That's right. And that freedom to choose love requires the opposite of it. And what we're experiencing right now is the opposite of it. Is a world in which we believe that comfort is our greatest meaning, is our greatest purpose. And we will do whatever it takes to preserve that comfort in every aspect, and not realizing that this moment we live in 2025 is the greatest bubble of bliss that this world has ever seen.
Oh, man.
And we are all just waiting with our little needles to pop it because we disagreed with what that person said on Facebook. Like, it is so fragile, and it is so, we do not get it, how precious this moment in the timeline is.
I often think that our creator, the one that made the heaven, the sky, and the whole 9 yards, whatever, all the stuff that we have around us, intended for us to have free will.
Yeah, absolutely.
Choose your path, but choose it wisely.
Right. The gift is the choice.
Yeah. So
you don't even have to choose it wisely. The opportunity is to choose it wisely, but the gift is the choice to not. The gift is the choice to listen to the serpent in the garden and to say, oh, I think I can do this my own way. Like, that is the gift that God gives us, is that opportunity. It's the denial of our own comfort in order to love you. That I believe is the pathway that the Christ, that God, the Christian version of this narrative is leading us to.
I think that being able to make those choices makes us stronger in a way that if we make a choice and we make the right choice, I mean, this is what we initially want to do, make the right choice and go down the right path. If we can do that and feel good about it at the end of the day, whether some people may not agree with it or not, I think that makes us a better person as far as what God intended. Now, everybody won't agree with you. You know, you joking like donuts, and I can say, hell no, I hate donuts, but Joe's going to eat a donut in front of my face.
Yes, I would.
Whether I like it or not.
Yes, I would.
But that comes to the point. Is the point agreeing with each other? Do I have to agree with you in order to believe that you matter and that your humanity matters and that the experience that has brought you to this point? No, I don't need to agree with you on that. Like, we can live in this world together. We've proven it for however many thousands and millions of years, right? Society has gotten better. Is functioning better than it ever has,
yes,
right? Like King Louis XIV, probably the richest person to ever live on planet Earth, right? He undoubtedly, per capita, the richest man to ever walk on planet Earth. If you put him in a time machine from when he was, and you put him in a trailer park in Des Moines, he would beg you to stay. He would beg you, please don't send me back.
Yeah.
Because why? running water, sanitation, electricity,
Yeah.
penicillin.
Mhm.
Like the richest man to ever have walked on the planet would would live at the bottom of our society willingly
in order to have those things.
Just to be able to have access
To those
to
things.
text his generals across the ocean and say, here's what I want you to do. Like, we are living in, some might say, a heaven on earth that's never existed before, and
Yeah.
we're squandering it, we're throwing it away. And what a gift that is, that we have the ability to do that.
And we still complain about it.
Right.
I mean, things are not what we
Right.
want.
Gosh darn it, I got to pay $1 to park
Exactly.
in this bubble of bliss. Gosh darn it.
Yes.
Holy cow, what are we going to do? $2 to park on the street? Oh my gosh.
Are you not
Don't you know this place used to be so great? They're throwing it away. It's like, gosh,
You're
we
not
are
talking
just
about the
missing
parking-
it.
the
We all-
parking
No, we're
lot.
not. We're
We
not
often do
talking
that.
about
We get so uptight about things that's going on today. And then we kind of rehash and go back to the past on how things used to be.
Oh yeah.
How great things used to
Yeah,
be.
they weren't that great
No,
then either.
they weren't.
Right.
No, they weren't.
But they were awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
And we learned
Wait a
from those.
minute. Is that contradicting what you guys just said?
It is. It's absolutely country. Because think about this. Like,
Wait a minute.
I'm 36 years old. When my dad was
You're only
36,
36.
when my dad was 36, I guarantee you he was bitching and moaning about everything that was going on in
Yeah.
the countries. And I was a young kid living in a world with my bicycle and my baseball bat, and
No worries
I
in the
saw
world.
nothing different. And I look back on that world and say, look how great that was.
Yeah.
Right. And my only job now is to make sure that my kid has that view of life, so that when he's 36 and bitching and moaning about his life, he's thinking about the world that was
Yes.
and
yes.
could have been. Right. That's how we progress society forward, is going from 1.0 to 1.1 and hoping we did everything so that 1.1 can get to 1.2.
All right, Joe's got the mic now.
Oh, you've been dying to talk, have you?
And then not about you.
Go ahead.
Not
Jump
about
in.
your guys. I hate to say it. Not about your religious shit. Sorry, I'm very religious, but I'll never talk about it. So I'll sit here and be quiet. To go back on what you just said right there, and you said right there, to go back on the past wasn't that bad. People try to boost up so much. Okay, I'll say it like this. So you right here, you had the best idea. Say you had the best idea for the new future, but it's too soon to do it. Say, I want parking meters. I'll just go with that. I want parking meters. Go right now. In the 90s. Him stuck in the old days, how you are. You're stuck in the old days in the 1960s. No, that won't work. That's not going to happen for you because you're trying to make everybody happy in the near future. It's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
You're still stuck in your ways, but there's somebody beyond me like me say, yes, it will work. Go right ahead. It's going to help the future. It's going to help produce more shit in the future.
Well, yeah.
People like now, so now people are criticizing what's going to happen to revolve in the world. It goes back to anything. It's not just parking. It's not just anything. Every town has the same fucking problems as we do as anything else in the world. It doesn't matter. Everybody's doing everything else to try to do good for their town. It's trying to do good for themselves. It's trying to do good for everybody else in the future.
Are they?
Are they not?
Well, I hope
Answer
so.
a question with a question.
I think
Yeah.
that's the opportunity. Here's a great example that's going on right in our community, right? Okay, so
That's all it is.
St. Joe Public Schools is trying to
Everybody's fighting everybody.
St. Joe Public Schools is trying to renew their millage
Yep.
in this coming election, right? So right now we are paying 3.7 mils out of our property taxes to go towards St. Joe Public Schools, which, by the way, just got rated a top 10 school district in the state of Michigan, right? We have a top 10 school district in the state of Michigan that has that rains in their copy room every single time it rains outside. In one of our elementary schools, there's water pouring through the ceiling into the copy room every single time it rains in this community. Top 10 school in the state. So St. Joe School says, hey, in order to fix these infrastructure problems that we have, the St. Joe High School needs an $11 million roof, and it's not the only building in the system that needs that. We've got to continue that millage that already exists at 3.7. We need that to extend for a certain amount of more time, right? In order to essentially just keep up with the maintenance required to support the students that are in this school. There's a movement. And Lake Michigan College has a very similar proposal right now for a new bond millage that they're trying to pass. There's a counter movement happening right now that says no new property taxes, right? And really they don't want to pay any property taxes, which I can absolutely appreciate to that sentiment. I do not like paying property taxes. I don't like that they're going up. I just bought a new house that's going to get assessed, and I'm going to get screwed.
Well, not mine. Haha.
But what we forget is that when we were first graders and when we were second graders and when we were seniors in high school, somebody was paying for the education that we got. Somebody was paying for the building that we had. Yep. And even though that I'm very directly impacted by the school system because I have a first grader and another student coming up in the system. But no matter what school you went to, no matter what community you graduated from, your school was built on the backs of community members and property taxes for people who went to that school and people who didn't, right? And it's part of that this idea of not only community spirit and saying, yes, we want to be a place that continues to grow and flourish, and in order to do that, we need to have new residents coming in constantly. In order to have that, we have to have a top-notch school system. But it's realizing the impact that somebody else had on you, right? And the education that you have in the life that you have looking back on, somebody else paid for, and it wasn't just your parents. It was the world around you that was paying into the system that raised you. And if that was something that impacted you positively, I would encourage you to look at the opportunities that we have to vote on in November and say, yeah, you know what? This is my opportunity to pay it forward to the next generation and say, gosh, I hope they figure this out. They're not dealing with these same issues that we're dealing with 30, 40 years from now. And gosh, I hope their kids aren't going to a school where it rains on the inside every time it rains on the outside.
Right.
You know, at a top 10 school district in the state. Like, can you believe that? Like,
yes, I can.
That they're putting buckets out in the field house, right? At St. Joe High School every single time it rains. In a top 10 school in the state.
Back house, though.
Is what?
Isn't that the back house? The field house? Isn't that the back one, not the front one?
What do you mean at St. Joe High School?
The field house at the high school is the back one, right?
The main field house, the practice where they have all the practice courts and they've got the track up top. Like, I coach baseball. I coached baseball at that school for years. We have buckets out every single time it rained.
Really? That's the one they just kind of remodeled and put the track on top.
But that was 15 years ago.
That was not 15.
That was a long. Elliot Uzelak.
That long.
Yeah, Elliot Uzelak was a champion behind that field house.
Shit,
that was. I mean, that's pushing 20 years ago at this point. Like, we're closer to 20 than we are to 10.
Because that was the year after me then.
And things wear out, and who pays for those things? Like, who pays for the potholes, right? And we should have that expectation of our community that the money that we are contributing towards it, we get to reap the benefits of it, right? If we're paying that much in property taxes, our kids should be going to a school that has air conditioning and heating and sealed ceilings.
It's the top 10 schools in the
which is something to celebrate, like unbelievable. But we're in a community with a declining population, which means that in order to preserve the things that we love, we either have to do everything we can to increase that population, right? Improvements to downtown, and I would argue, we need to accommodate what it's going to take in order to preserve the things that make our community great, right? And the infrastructure improvements that are going to come to it, which includes our school system. And so, no, none of us want to pay property tax. None of us want to pay for parking. None of us want to pay, but that's where we can hold those we elect accountable and say, what is it that we're getting, right? Like, my property taxes are meant to go to my school. A benefit that I've received from that is free school lunches. Now, I don't need that. right? Like my kid, it wouldn't necessarily qualify for free and reduced lunch. And I'm so grateful that we live in a state that has those preservations. But at the same time, my property taxes has gone towards something that I've received that I'm no longer going to receive. And I am going to receive it. They passed it in the budget. But for a second there, I was like, wait a second, what am I going to get in return then? Right. I'm still contributing this money to the state of Michigan. What do I get in return for that? We should have that expectation for our city, but we should also have the willingness to contribute and hope for the best and hope that our school system does everything they can to maintain that status as top 10 school.
What would be some of the things that you would expect if you had a choice?
Man, I would expect to live in a city that doesn't settle for 1986. You know, right? Yeah. Like I love downtown St. Joe. There isn't a better advocate of it, but gosh darn it, you know, it just feels like we should be playing John Cougar Mellencamp through loudspeakers in the city all the time. Yeah. And part of it feels like that's what we want.
Stop favoring it.
Right. But I would hope, and I don't live in the city, so I don't pay taxes to the city. I pay taxes to the township.
But that's up to the city commissioners. Stop living in the past.
And I think we have the right city commissioners to start moving us into the next. And you know, I want to continue to bring in. I want to continue to bring in leaders that have this city's progress in mind.
I want to say something.
Say it.
No,
I
won't.
Maybe that's not terrible.
I'm not favored.
So it's getting fired up in the second half of the segment.
But honestly, I don't.
The last half of the segment.
I don't think it matters who's in the city commission.
It does.
You're not wrong, but I think if we bring compelling and worthwhile progress, or excuse me, worthwhile projects,
yes,
that are well thought out and that have a high probability of improving the city, I think any city commissioners will look at that and say, "Oh, this is worth doing," right? Because local politics shouldn't be political.
How about this? Should city commissioners only have 2-year run?
No, you can't do anything in 2 years.
No, I think.
Let them answer.
I know, but I think should be 2 years, or how about 3 years? Done. It's all new people.
No,
all new group.
It takes so long to do anything, right? And like to have something disrupted because you needed an extra 6 months because you only had 2 years. That means you're spending 1 year doing things and another year getting ready to run again. And
then you're always fixing someone else's problem.
Which is why we need longer terms.
Because you're just adding more problems to somebody else.
No, after 2 years, you are.
No, if you cut it at the nip, if you cut it right there, 2 years, then you're fixing someone else's problem. Yes, 2 years. Then you're fixing someone else's 2-year problem. If you're fixing someone's 3-year problem, then they bring their ideas in. Then you got a 3-year problem. Then all of a sudden you got to fix their 3-year problem to a 4-year problem. Then 4-year problem to a 5-year problem.
I think the rotation that they have now, where every 2 years you do have elections where you have new people coming in to the city commission, it allows projects to continue, but it also prevents things from happening too quickly.
It's
right?
2 years now.
Every 2 years, the way that it's structured is you can expect or anticipate every 2 years there's going to be a commissioner up for election. So this year, if I understand it correctly, there's three available seats. Yeah, there's 3 available seats in the city commission this year.
There is.
In 2 years, there will be a different rotation of those available seats.
4.
Yes, and so, it's to vote on an entire commission all at once, and even I would argue 4 is too many. Vote for Joe Hill 2027.
Yes. I'm fucking running.
Right. On the next episode of the Third Eye Theorem podcast, we'll hear from Joe about what he wants to do in the city.
Fuck that. My politics is fuck you. I don't care. And you're gonna.
But if you're running for city commission expecting to have a political agenda, you're gonna be disappointed, because that's just not what happens. Like, this is about clean water and potholes and 5Ks through the middle of downtown. Like, these are non-political things.
I lived through this. I live on the beach where they blocked my road going down the fucking hill just because of a fucking 5K.
You are fired up. You are fired up.
What was in that gas station wine, brother?
I haven't finished it. I'm
Right.
basically done.
We got to find out what's at the bottom of it in order to.
God.
You are fired up.
Oh
The
man.
last hour. Oh man.
This last hour, I had not finished my wine at all.
All right, guys. That is about the end of the podcast. Joe is on fire today.
God.
All right, guys. Thanks for
He's
joining
on
the
something.
Third Eye Truth There podcast, guys. It is episode 127, I'm sorry. And if you're watching on YouTube, once again, please subscribe, hit that bell notification button so we can get more content out to you every Monday and Wednesday night at 8 p.m. All right, guys. I'm James Gill, the host. This is Joe Hill.
Wait, we didn't do our last call.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're.
Let's rewind a little bit.
Yeah.
There was only one man on the job.
I've been waiting for that
So-
one. All right.
So Paul, what is your last call? We call it last call now. When you were on, we called it.
We got it, Joe.
I don't know if I got it.
See?
Just a shout out to anything that's upcoming for you or new things that's happening in your life.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit. We got the Spooktacular coming up on the
Oh,
18th. Come on down to downtown St. Joe on Saturday, October 18th. It's going to be a really, really fun day. Another excuse to get into a costume, or if you're like me and you've got a kid who can't decide, you've got multiple opportunities to use all those costumes that have found their way in those Amazon boxes to your house. So that's October 18th. Get the details on stjoetoday.com. Yeah, other than that, enjoy this fall. Like it's going
to be
this 80 degrees is going to feel a long ways away in about a month.
Oh yeah.
So soak it in while you got it.
Bone chilling cold of St. Joe, Michigan. That's right. Joe, go ahead, knock it out the park. Let me taste this wine.
Go ahead. So
I'm sure it has some haterade in it.
no, for you, Paul. Thank you for coming out tonight.
Thanks for having me.
I love you having a second time around. I'm gonna have you in about 6 months. Go from there.
Okay.
No, I'm serious.
I'm in.
It could be kind of cool because it promotes St. Joe.
Yeah.
And then you can talk about the good and the bad and everything else. But thank you. I love to hear about St. Joe. I live in downtown St. Joe. And my thing is for you, you have the biggest seat in the office there. You hold big shoulders. I give you great respect for who you are because it's got to be broad because you're fighting with all the downtown people and all the city commissioners and everything else. But everybody faces you because you're the limelight.
Oh, I appreciate that. I don't want to take all that credit, but I also it's not a fight, it's an opportunity.
Yeah. But for that opportunity, you can live your life and go on that with the community and give what people want. For that, most respect. You keep on doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job for it. Keep living.
Appreciate that. Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Come on, share a little bit.
Oh yeah, Paul. Thank you very much for joining us again, man. This was a good conversation, huh?
Did you like my wine?
I'm sorry. That's a good conversation. I'm
was
glad we
great.
had some stuff
Yeah, it
we
was
could talk
fun.
about besides
Just
just
diverse conversation.
yes, it was great. Can't wait to come back on next.
Let's do it. 6 months from now. Yeah, 2026. Here it comes.
Yeah.
The new year. We'll see what's up going on with you in the year 2026, and
That sounds good.
we'll get back together. All right, guys. Like I said before, please like and subscribe on YouTube and join us next week. Who's on next week, Joe? Or Wednesday?
Dustin Austin.
Dustin Austin's on Wednesday.
Lawson.
What are you sure?
Lawson.
Look it up.
I am. Dustin Lawson.
Lester
Yeah.
Pipestone owns Pipestone. Yeah, great guy.
Yeah.
All right, Dustin
Owns
Lester.
Pipestone Creek.
Lester.
Yep.
That's it. Yeah.
How'd you get lost in?
I was guessing actually until I looked it up. I had that.
I get you.
I had the now.
Oh,
I was just guessing.
well, there you
Looking
go.
forward to Dustin Austin next
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
Yeah.
He owns
Actually-
Pipstone Creek.
It's okay.
Thanks, Joe, for the update. I appreciate it.
Actually,
All right, guys, we'll get out of here. This
He's
is
been
Third Eye
fighting-
Truth Theorem
he's been fighting
podcast.
with me.
I am James Gill, your host, Joe Hill, co-host, and our guest, Paul Knapp, joining us again. All right, guys, we'll see you Wednesday, 8 p.m. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you later.